Hello, this is Gary.
Hey Gary, it's Rick.
How's it going, Rick?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. I'm excited to talk to you today about your new album coming out.
Cool.
I've been jamming. I've been jamming to it. I've been listening to all the stuff. I've
Yeah,
been
you like
going,
it?
oh man. See, we need more of that, in
Yeah,
our
right.
lives.
I, I totally agree.
It's so cool though when you can, hear music like that, and it kind of brings you back to the good old days, and the music is still alive, and kicking. I mean, it's great that y'all are still putting music out. That's great.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's ever left, and there's, God knows, thousands of fans of this music, that still want to hear it, and it's just it has been the focus
Yeah,
in the last, God knows how many years, but it's still there, and I know people want to hear it, because rock will never die as far as I'm concerned.
right. Despite what I guess Gene Simmons or somebody like that said, yeah, says that rock is dead. Yeah, I think it's alive and doing well. Um,
Yep.
but yeah, okay. So let's see. You have a brand new album coming out. It's coming out in April, right?
Yeah, April 1st in the Europe and the 15th in the States.
Awesome. It's called "Closer to the Flame." Now, where did the title come from? "Closer to the Flame,"
It's one of the songs.
and then that's how you
That's
got the.
Yeah, that's how we got the title. It was
Or
one of the
where did? Okay.
songs.
Well, where did the title for the song come from?
Well, you have to ask Don. He's not here. He's
Okay.
the, he's our singer. He wrote.
Oh, bring him
I
in.
write the music.
Tell him to come. No,
Uh,
no. But that's
yeah, it's a little fantasy, I think, and you'll have to interview him.
okay. Yeah, we'll bring him in and see what he says about it. um, but yeah, I've been listening to the songs, and they really have that classic sound. How would you describe the sound of this album? And do you think it kind of sounds like the old days of the
Well,
Riot days?
hmm. Yeah, quite a few people have said that. This sounds like just evolution of Fire Down Under. Just evolution of of that band, of the sound. Um, that's just the way I write. You know, the music really. It's just
Right.
what comes out of me. That's just me. Um, I was in Riot for many years, and Mark and I back then we were into the same type of high energy, hard rocking bands and music, and that's just, I guess, embedded within you, and it just comes out that way, and
Right.
everyone in the band, in the current band, just related to it, and Don especially, he just every time I send him something, he goes, "Wow, this is great." He come up with the with a great lyric and vocal to it. And it was like, wow,
Right.
this is amazing.
Right. Yeah. Well, talk about your the guys in the band. Who all you got in the band?
Okay, let's see. Let me see if I can remember their names. Don Chafin
Who
on
are they?
vocals, Paul Ranieri on bass, and Claudio Galinsky on drums.
Awesome. And yeah, man, Don, he's got some great vocals on this album. That's
Yeah, right.
reminiscent of got some Robert Plant things going on. And I love it. It's great stuff there.
Yeah, thanks.
Um. So, but you were in the band Riot. Now, how did you go from Riot to where you are today? How what formed this band? How did you decide to form this band?
This band came about, well, let's see, probably from the fact that Lou Cavaris, who was the guitar player, both of us, wanted to do this Riot thing. Lou more than I actually. He had approached me and say, "Hey Rick, why don't we do this thing?" Because uh, I think the year before, I forgot if it was 2019 or so, we were inducted into Heavy Metal Hall of Fame, I guess you would call it,
Right.
and really, it was really surprising. And Lou and I went out to California and the whole ceremony there. It was really cool. And
Awesome.
so after that, Lou said, said to me, he goes, "Yeah, we should do it." He was always bugging me to do it. And after that, I agreed with him. I said, something, maybe the time is right to do it. We finally got, some recognition after all these years. So we decided to get together, and we said to each other, well, let's see, who,
Right.
who are we going to get to play. So at the time I was playing with Paul and Claudio, and I said, hey, I've got these guys, and they're really good. So we jammed, and it sounded great. And Lou and I had never played together, back in the Riot days, because he was gone by the second album. I came in on the second album. So it was the first time that he and I played those songs together. And our guitar styles just worked so well together. It was just we had a big grin on our face every time we looked at each other and
Yeah.
playing those songs. So it was a really cool experience. So that's and then through a friend of through a mutual friend, Lou got Don. We gave him 3 or 4 Riot songs, and we played with him, and it was just like, wow, this is just it was just
Yeah.
amazing. As soon as he
Right.
opened his mouth and we started hearing those tunes, everything just came to life. So that's how it really started.
Right. And and unfortunately, he passed away a couple years ago, right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and I know
March
it's
2 years ago.
wow, and I know it's been rough for you. But how did you go? Decide to move on and keep going and do the music.
Yeah, that was a very bad period. We were all pretty devastated, and and I was like, well, do I really want to do this now?
Right.
It was just so different. We weren't going to be able to really replace Luke. We just had that old school style of playing, and but I had a lot of material I wanted to get out there, and the guys, they wanted to play, and we all just said, "Hey, let's do it for ourselves. Let's do it for Lou. Let's do it for the fans." And we came up with 10 new tunes, and decided just to go as a 4-piece band and see how that works out. So that's what we did. And meanwhile, we had recorded a dozen of the old Riot songs. So on this new album, there's going to be a bonus disc with 12 of 12 Riot songs, and Lou is going to be on there.
Awesome.
So that's a cool bonus thing for fans too.
Yeah, that's real nice. That's something for all the fans. That's a great tribute for him. To for
Right.
right. That's awesome. Um, so so back in the early days of Riot, how did you first initially join the band? How did you get up with those guys?
Well, it's interesting. The band actually lived literally around the corner from where I lived. Mark, the guitar player, Mark Reale, he was 2 blocks from my house, and I would sometimes walk down this block, and I'd hear just loud guitar,
What's that?
loud music blasting from this house. I'm going, what is going on here?
Right.
And um, I- and people would hang out there and listen to it. And then one day we sort of invited ourselves in, friends and I, and we got to hang out. And I met Mark, and I really bonded both of us. We were just guitar geeks, and um, so I really was always around from the very beginning, very close to the beginning of Riot. And watched it develop and basically evolve into the perfect lineup, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
So I was always there, and when Lou had left the band, I seemed like the logical choice. So that's how I wound up joining.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Um,
Yeah, it was kind of cool.
yeah.
We're all friends. It was a cool situation.
Right. And was looking. Y'all got to play with some cool bands back in the day, like
Oh,
what ACDC, right? How was
yeah.
how
How
fun was
cool is
that?
that? Yeah, with Bon Scott, right?
Oh
How cool
man.
is that?
So what's the story with Bon Scott? Do you have any stories about that time?
Stories. Oh boy.
Millions and millions
All,
of stories.
God, I don't remember half of them because probably all of us were under influence of something or other.
Right, right.
But but
Imagine
they
that.
were cool. They were cool guys. I was always a fan of AC/DC. I love them, and I always loved Angus' guitar playing. So they were just cool, regular guys, just to hang out with. Hang out and talk, have a drink. Very cool guys. He died shortly after, actually, Bond.
Right.
So got to hang out. We toured with Black Sabbath and Rush. So it's a very cool period for a young band.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, and I've been looking. I've been seeing some of the older the videos and things like that uh, from back in the day.
Oh yeah,
A different time, totally. Right.
yeah, sure, sure. It's cool to see them. Sometimes you go, wow, band was pretty. Sometimes I listen to some stuff and go, wow, we were pretty smoking.
Well, well, it's one of those bands that should have made it up here. And so, why do you think that Riot was one of those bands that were never as big as, like, say, ACDC or something like that? What do you think was the reason?
Boy, it's the same old story. I'm sure you've heard, just tragic and bad decisions. And we were on tour with Rush during the Moving Pictures tour,
Right.
and guy, our singer, he was just getting very frustrated with management, and it was taking a long time for the band to get noticed. Was doing it for many years, and I think he was just getting frustrated, and he left the band, which was a major blow for us. But Fire Down Under was out; it was doing well. We were on a major tour, so that was a major blow um, to the band. So, and we've always been an underground, cult bands, but I think at that time, touring Russia, we're starting to get noticed, and a few people in the business had said to me, "Goes, you guys are going to be very big, but there's some issues you got to resolve. There's some management issues, and I think guy leaving was really the nail in the coffin."
Right.
But we decided to continue. We got Rhett Forrester. He's a great guy, great singer. Um, different sound, obviously,
Right.
but we pushed on.
Right. So as the band, went on, and you were still playing with them, and
Yeah.
what was the high point of that time there? What hit you, and you said, I'm liking this.
Oh well, I guess when you're finally on tour and you're playing with some of your idols,
Yeah.
like playing touring with Sabbath was pretty cool. That was really quite fascinating. I remember one time going, we were in a hotel, elevated door opens, and it's Geezer Butler and Bill Ward standing there,
Oh wow.
and I get in. Who was I think it was just me and Kip, the bass player, and Geezer invited us into his room, and he goes, "Yeah, let's hang out." And he was such a cool guy. They were so cool down to earth. They were giving us tips, because we were a young band, and
Right.
telling us what they went through, and how managers basically took advantage of the band, and they were really just sort of guiding us, and just very, very cool people.
Yeah. Well, was that one of your influences growing up, like Black Sabbath and Tony and those guys?
Yeah, yeah, many Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin, like the U.S. bands. Most like Montrose, Mark and I, like in fact, Whole Ride was kind of based on Montrose, the very big influence. Uh, Montrose was probably based on Led Zeppelin, early
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin. So
Right.
it all comes from the same school, I guess.
Right. So and when you're writing songs, you're talking about you coming up with the riffs and things like that. And like on this new album, how did you come up
Mm.
with each different riff? And sometimes do you play a part and go, that sounds too much like this other song, or do you just kind of go with it? How do you do that?
Well, it's yeah. I constantly come up with ideas, and either if I could be in the car, I could be anywhere. If I have my phone on me, I'll just hum something into the phone, or if I'm just jamming, coming up with a riff, I'll document it. I'll revisit it. If it doesn't do anything for me, I'll just, sometimes I'll just erase it, Um, but I just cataloged a lot of riffs and parts, and usually it just sometimes it just gels. A riff will just lead me into a bridge or into chorus, and it can happen sometimes very quickly, and then sometimes you have something laying around for quite a while, and then you'll revisit it and come up with a new part for it.
Right.
There was a part, one of the songs on the album, it needed something, and it was like it's really bothering me. I said, it needs a part,
Right.
and then and I was under the gun, so it was kind of the next day I had the part, and it just came to life, So sometimes, under pressure, things come about, uh, well, all different ways. But I have to like what I'm doing first. If I don't like it, if I think, oh, this sounds so much like this, but it sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It's how everybody throws a piece of their style into it. When I show the
Right.
band, so it'll take on a new form.
Right.
So that's what's cool.
Yeah. And I'm sure it changes along the way and things like
Yeah,
that.
sure, sure.
And so most of the time, do you do like does Don come up with lyrics and you then the guitars, or both together or separately, or how does
Well, the
that
way
work?
this worked, it was such a unusual situation during this whole COVID period. I
Right.
would I would send structures to Don. Really, you know, I had intro, at verse, bridge, parts. They were fairly structured songs that I sent him, and he would just come up with stuff just like that, actually, pretty quickly. It was like, wow.
Wow.
I mean, everything I sent, he really literally liked everything I sent him. I was like, wow, that's just pretty amazing, and but I would never hear anything until he would he wouldn't divulge until we went into the studio, and then it would materialize there. It was very unusual, because everybody had to keep their distance,
Yeah.
and rehearsal was it was difficult, during that whole period.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure. Is it getting better for y'all now? I guess things are
Yeah,
getting
yeah,
back to
it's
normal.
things are a bit better now. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's good.
But we had just lost Lud. You know, he passed away from COVID. So we were
Right.
all kind of freaked.
Yeah, I'm
So
sure.
it was nerve wracking recording the album. At least for me, it really was nerve wracking.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. Well,
It was wow. I was saying to myself, is this like a continuation of the tragic curse of Riot, because we lost so many members of the
yeah.
band. It was just like, oh, please, not again.
Right. And I guess this seems like an accomplishment, based on what you've been through, and I guess just everything that you've ever been through. I guess it's like you survived a lot of ups and downs, and especially lately with this album. How does that make you feel to complete this album and feel like it's an accomplishment?
Well, yeah, good point there. Yeah, I'm very proud of it. The band's very proud of it. Finally, to see this material come to life, so I'm really excited and genuinely thrilled about it that it's actually materializing
Right.
after all that all these decades, from from back in that period, all the hard work that the band put in trying to get somewhere, and then Lou and I trying to reignite it, and then tragically losing Lou, and then coming back and doing this album, um, just just ignited the, the fire really. So I'm really excited. We're all excited about the album. I
Yeah,
hope fans out there dig it.
I'm sure they will. I've been like I said, I've been listening to it, been rocking. The songs are awesome. There's a song. No, it's Stand or Fall.
Oh, okay, yeah, we
Yeah,
just released a video for that.
yeah. So tell me about the song and the video for that.
Okay, well, that's one of the riffs. I've had that riff for a while. The changes and uh, actually had the title too, but Don did the rest of the lyric. I like just the statement "stand or fall." It just says it pertains to so many things. Anything you believe in, or I mean, across many platforms. Also, it could be political. It could be sports related. It could be anything. It's
Right.
just kind of universal. Don completed the lyric. We just played it, and everybody put their little parts in, and it all just came together. And then we just did the video. We figured we wanted to show us playing, and have some fun with it. Really. So, did you see the video?
Yeah, I did. It was really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
Really cool. And
yeah. It's kind of fun. We had
it's
fun with it. Yeah.
it if only MTV played videos, it could be they could
Right.
show
I
that.
know. I
Yeah.
know. If there was only a channel that was devoted to
I wonder.
music,
Yeah, they need to create a music channel. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah,
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 right.
right. I think. Yeah,
If
remember
only.
those days?
If only. Yeah, right. Um, and that's it's crazy though that when you're looking back and you're thinking of those days, how times have changed. I mean, and aren't you the kind of guy that still likes the albums to get the records, or or at least a CD? I don't like to download so much as I do have an actual album in my hand. Is that how you feel?
Oh yeah, sure. It's always fun to hold something, instead of your phone.
Yeah, it's not the same, man.
Yeah, I mean, everybody just downloads a song or something. You hope people would listen to an entire album, uh, but some people just, hey, I like this song, add this to my playlist. Um, Back in the old days, I guess he was just your favorite band came out album. It's like, okay, I'm gonna play it from beginning to end
That's exactly right.
and listen to the whole thing and look at the album
Yeah,
and read the liner notes.
sure.
Uh, but I guess I mean you could go on YouTube and I guess you could read about everything there too. It's
I
just
guess
it's
it's
just a
just
different medium.
yeah. It's
There's good and bad to it.
it's like you said when you had the album cover in it. There's some artwork or something, and then you kind of it has like a concept almost, even though it's not a concept album. It's kind of like you get this idea, and all the songs kind of tell a story of that album, so to speak. So it kind of comes together the right way. So now but a single, you're only getting a piece of it. It's like instead of a cake, you're just getting an egg or two here.
Yeah,
So
because the artwork is a major part of the albums. There's a lot of interesting artwork and some great covers, and so I guess the equivalent of that is now YouTube with the video. So that's your artwork now,
right. No, that's it.
right?
That's
I
exactly
guess
right.
so. That's yeah. So that's why we were working on a third video actually. We did Wanted and Stand or
Right.
Fall, and we're working on a third one, so it should be ready by the album release date. And yeah, so I guess that's your album cover is the
Yeah.
video. But the album cover is kind of cool, I think. Our new album, and I'm hoping we can do some put out some vinyl also, so that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that'd be real cool. And
Yeah,
maybe,
because I think that cover would look great
yeah, that's the
with vinyl.
is that's it's a cover. It's like a is it a person in flames or something? I was trying to remember what the
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
as a woman or
it's a
something.
it's a woman, yeah.
Yeah. See, that's cool. See, got that rock and roll flames, that whole thing, and
Right, keeping it alive, I guess, you know. Little hidden keeping the flame alive.
keeping the flame alive. That's it. Um,
Yeah,
well,
little hidden meaning.
what about touring and things like that? How's that been going for you?
Yeah, we have some dates in England in August with the Lillian Acts. So that's a first set of dates that has come up. We have something in the works for Spain, if I'm not mistaken. So things are starting to come. Now that the COVID situation has somewhat died down and things are opening up, a lot of major artists are touring again. So hopefully there's going to be quite a bit more towards the end of 2022, and hopefully some stuff in the States.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd like to do some dates here.
yeah. I'd like to see y'all out there playing. What's some of the songs that you kind of that stand out to you on the new album? What's some of your favorites?
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna throw that at you.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I mean, I really do like all of them, I think, but one of my favorites, I like Wanted. Um,
Oh yeah,
probably because it was the first one that we did, and just has a lot of energy. It's just got a really good groove, and it just takes off. It just, especially at the end, it just goes into overdrive at the end. I kind of really like that. There's so much intensity in that tune. So that's one of my favorites. I like Smoking Gun. Um, I like Angelina.
yeah. I like
For
that song.
certain
Yeah,
reasons.
yeah. That's a good
Yeah,
song.
that's a Oh, thanks. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a real good
That's a
job.
cool driving heavy riff. It's
Yes.
just pounds you over the head. I like that. Yeah, I like them for different reasons. We even do a ballad on the album.
Awesome.
So yeah, so it's a lot of different styles on there. So I think people get. I don't think they'll get bored. I think each song has something about it, and they're memorable, which is the critical component of a song that's memorable.
Right. Yeah, that's the whole idea to get those songs out there and let people. I guess they'll be singing them to you at a gig one day.
Oh, that'd be
How
kind of
right,
nice.
right. How cool is it though to be on stage? After all this time, with not playing, how's that
well,
good for you?
guess what? We we only played once. The only time this band has played live was at the Heavy Metal Award
Oh,
show,
okay.
and that was 2 years ago
Oh, wow.
in January, and we played two tunes. We played Rock City from the Riot days, and we played Swords and Tequila, and those were the only songs and the only time we played together as a band. Because right after that, COVID hit,
Wow.
and nothing was going on. We were just working on the record.
Wow. So
So
yeah.
August will be the first time we'll be performing. I'm sure we're going to do some warm up dates in the States here. Maybe some little small venue here just to warm up. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think
Yeah.
we're all dying to like just explode. So it should
Right.
be interesting.
Well, those fans will get a treat. They won't know what to expect. You won't know what to
Oh yeah,
expect,
we
and they'll be like,
right.
"Here we go."
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
And,
Total chaos.
and some guy's gonna be recording it, and he's gonna post it on YouTube. And so if you mess up, there it is forever. No,
I know, right? That's one thing about that's yeah. It's, wow, wow. These guys used to be so good. What
what
happened?
happened to that? Well, I'm sure you've had. I mean, I know you have a lot of fans. Excuse me, but there's a lot of fans that brag on you. But you always have these trolls. You ever come across any trolls online coming at you?
Uh, not really. I try, if I ever get a hint of that, it's just like I don't even
Don't even look at it.
dig into it. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like yeah, you go on a great band and there'll be people trolling
they
everything
do
just
it.
to, I guess that's what they do. There's nothing else to do.
No,
It's
that's their whole life is to talk about somebody that's doing something they wish they could do is
right.
what
They'll
it
say
is.
like, "Oh man, no, the Beatles, the worst band ever," you know?
Yeah, of course. They only sold a few albums. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
right.
It speaks for itself. I mean, when you're accomplishing, it's like what you said. When you're playing with ACDC and Rush. I mean, I think that's a pretty doggone good accomplishment there. But
Sure.
right.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, definitely. To be up there with the people that, that influenced you. I mean, that really hits home, you know?
Well, what about up and coming rock artists that want to follow in your footsteps? What advice would you give, especially like the guitar
Wow.
players? What would you say to them?
Well, every once in a while I bop into a music store, and you see some teenager there that's just riffing away, that's playing some stuff that just blows your mind. You go, oh my God,
Right.
So there's still hope out there. You, there's, I think they either get it from their parents, listen to music that their parents grew up listening to, and they relate to it. I mean, in fact, just a few days ago, um, there was this young kid. I mean, probably like 11 years old or something like that, and he's playing a Nirvana song and an AC/DC song in the store,
Wow.
and all the riffs he's playing. Oh wow, this is all you know, older stuff, and it was like, that's makes you feel good that
There's
there's
hope.
still relevance there.
There's hope for the future.
Yeah, I mean, the music's just great. Music will always live on, inspire uh, new players and stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And what and what do you think about the like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with all these artists that aren't rock uh, stars? What do you think about some of these? Like, I mean, no offense to like Dolly, but would you induct Dolly into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame before you
I,
would
you know,
Iron Maiden?
I don't get that. Yeah, it's just so weird. Um, do they just analyze it and go, okay, in some remote way, this person somehow contributed to rock? You just wonder.
I don't understand it.
Yeah, I
And
mean, Miles Davis is in there, if I'm not mistaken, right?
right, right.
And I mean, he's a legend, obviously in the jazz community. But then he did play with John McLaughlin,
Yes,
which from Vishnu, so there was some rock jazz, so maybe that's why.
I could see that.
But
I could see that.
yeah, so I don't get. I mean, those things just never.
I just I just think that they should that's cool if you want to induct some of these people in later, but let's go ahead and get those guys that have been, like Foreigner or somebody.
Yeah, is Deep Purple in there? No, right?
Right. I don't think so. There's a
There's
bunch. There's like a
there's
big
so many
list.
that you would think they would be in there, but they're not. I just view it as kind of funny.
There needs to be like a see what I say is let's start like a pop music award, pop Hall of Fame or do some kind of oddball and then put
Right.
like ballet Hall of Fame and then put like Iron Maiden and because that's what they're doing with the rocker. It's like do the opposite and just
Yeah.
put them in there.
Yeah.
I don't know, just have something different.
Yeah,
But
I mean that's why the Heavy Metal Hall of Fame that was started a few years back was done to acknowledge all. all the rock bands that are ignored by the whether Grammys or whatever, any award. Meanwhile, Iron Maiden, they'll come to your town and they'll sell out the biggest arena there for a few nights,
Right. Right.
but they're ignored,
It doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, it's just weird.
But but it's good to know that there are the listeners of rock and roll music out there still out there listening. They're buying albums and
Oh yeah,
stuff like
there's
that.
plenty of people. Yeah, they'll be listening to it, when they're 90,
Right. Being a
like
nursing
I will.
home and jamming.
Yeah, you're still going to you'll be listening to Ozzy, as
It,
as you're
but it's
sipping your food from a
from a straw.
from a cup through a straw,
Right.
right?
It's time for your meds, Mr. Ferguson. No. Hey, and hold on, I'm listening to ACDC. Hey, but it's a different feeling. You think when you think of old people, you never think of yourself, or you're thinking of some old guy and he's listening to some classic tunes from the 20s or 30s. You don't think he's
Uh-huh.
listening to Leonard Skinner or something. You think. I mean, I was ACDC. A 90-year-old guy. Singing,
Yeah, yeah,
some
but
ACDC tunes.
it's about to happen.
it's it's approaching. I just want.
Yeah, it's
I'm just
very close.
I'm just happy that there are people out there that are still listening to it and they're getting old and it's at least they're still around, enjoying the music.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right.
There's no doubt. There's plenty of people I know. It's like that's still in you. It's just you're always going to dig it, and those bands come out. You're going to go out there and see them.
Yeah, definitely. Um, well, I think you're going to have a lot of fun when you do tour. Whenever you surprise that gig on them, wherever you're going to play at, and I think you're going to have a good time. I'd
Yeah,
like
it's
to
going to
see
be
y'all.
great.
I like to see y'all out there somewhere. I've been digging the songs. I've been listening to some of them. I'm going to check the rest of them out. My little sneak
Yeah,
preview.
check it out, and
That's real good stuff.
for
Um,
everybody out there, just go to riotactband.com and we'll keep you up to date on tours and videos and everything else. And yeah, so April 1st in Europe, April 15th in the States,
awesome.
and look forward to our next video.
And I'm looking forward to it too. And but I'll be sharing it. All your news and music and everything coming up. And yeah, I'm looking forward
Uh,
to it. I appreciate you talking to me today.
oh, Gary, it was a pleasure, man. Anytime. It was very cool.
Hey, thanks a lot. Have a good day.
All right.
All
All
right.
right, you too. Bye bye.
Bye.